Love podcasts, hate nonsense. It's the PoliticsJOE Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
That was really demure.
It was really
Demure.
demure. Well, we haven't done it in a screamy way in quite a while.
No, but we're with Oobah Butler.
We are with Oobah
Hello.
Butler.
How's it going?
More applause from the gallery.
You might know him. Well, you're a big scammer, really, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like a Tinder swindler.
Yeah. But you do it under the guise of a documentary, so you get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. You get afforded a lot more allowances if you just say you're a creative. I'm a scam artist. Yeah.
Okay. You know the original thing you did with the shed?
Yep.
And that, well, yeah, obviously you do. Yeah. Do you remember that time you did that thing with
Yeah,
the shed?
yeah.
Anyway.
You love talking about this, I'm sure.
No, I do.
For some reason, I always get Susanna Reid on my TikTok talking about it. She's just like totally astounded by it when she learns about it.
Yeah, she calls me a naughty boy.
Yeah.
Which I've replayed in my
Have you seen
mind
the video?
several
That would be
times.
his dream.
It's quite hot, I
That would
have
be
to
his
say.
dream.
How did
Yeah.
you feel in that moment?
I remember when I met her a few years later, and she was really sound actually. But yeah,
Great her.
she didn't like me in the interview. I think she found me very just annoying.
Oh,
But Ben, what's his name? Shepherd.
Shepherd. Yeah.
He was the good cop. She was the bad cop.
Really?
You know, that's the thing, isn't it?
She
Do they
mothered
have
you.
to do that for a
I
stunt
don't
like
know. I think it makes it easy for them.
Yeah.
You know, I think it makes it easier for them if they do good cop, bad cop, good cop, bad cop.
I don't know.
We'll find
I-
out over the course of the next...
You're fluid. You interchange.
Yeah. I mean, you never notice it, so you need to be as on your toes as possible.
You're less like Reggie. You're not like Rafa Benitez, defensive midfielder,
Fluid.
attack midfielder. You're more fluid.
Yeah.
It's all. It's
Uh-huh.
okay.
It could be 4-3-3. It could be 4-2-3-1. Wing backs 1 second.
Yeah.
Holding midfielder the next.
She moves around a lot, doesn't she, as good cop, bad cop on that show? Because when she was
Yeah.
on there with Piers Morgan, she was good cop.
bad cop. But good cop. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
when it
okay.
was Piers, right?
Oh, no, I
Because
don't know.
Piers would be bad cop.
I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Consistently. Yeah. You're right. That's like babyface heel, like the wrestling thing, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good guy, bad guy.
Yeah.
He was very much the heel, and she was the babyface.
It's all just kayfabe, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is all kayfabe. It actually is.
Yeah.
It's so funny that they've got Richard in there now. Richard and Judy.
Of course,
Richard.
yeah.
You go on there a lot, no?
Yeah, I love that program.
Yeah. What do you enjoy going on it?
Yeah, like that's like my favorite. If I get asked to do that, I'll move heaven and earth to make sure I can go. I
Yeah.
love it.
like.
I just think it's really. I think it's like not the only program, but one of the only programs where you actually have an opportunity to change someone's mind who's listening.
That's
Do you
interesting.
know what I mean? Like it's quite like a malleable
Their audience or the people in the studio?
The audience, I think, because it's like such. I don't know, like, you know, if you go on like Radio 4, you know that you're speaking to a certain type of middle class person, right?
Yep.
Probably like, you know, like FT, the Times reading, that sort of thing. The ITV audience is like, it is really broad.
That's interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's also something that you put on in your house, right? Like, you know, like when you're getting ready for like
Yeah.
work or whatever, you put that on in the background. So like people might catch it by accident. So,
Yeah. No.
like,
Totally. Yeah.
I guess people aren't as... Like the target audience are not as stuck in their convictions. Like they can switch quite easily, no?
Yeah, and you know what? The other thing I think about ITV a lot, I don't know why this is reminding me. I had an ex-boyfriend who taught me about how you're either like a BBC or an ITV family, and apparently if you're an ITV family, that means that you're lower class.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Were you an ITV or a BBC?
We were an ITV family.
so
we had
was
but
I.
then
Yeah,
where was-
same. Saturday night
We were
takeaway.
pretty interchangeable. Like it was. I remember a while we watched Rise. What was that on?
Oh yeah, what
You
was
remember
that?
What
yeah,
was that on?
What's Rise?
I don't know. I remember that.
It was a morning one of that show that
But
was.
we were a real family. We had that on every morning before we went to
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
You know, people would come in and they'd be like, "Oh, did you watch Big Breakfast?" I'd be like, "No, my mum wanted to watch."
And here you are now, jousting.
I sat next to him actually at a 60th birthday party once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he had his hand on my leg, like throughout. Yeah,
Well, he's.
yeah. I didn't
vibes.
mind. That's the worst
Yeah,
thing. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay.
He's a charmer.
Did he feel at home doing it, or was it very forced?
It didn't feel forced. It felt natural.
Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect that. I would have thought that he's quite a nervous flirt.
No.
Chance. No,
Oh.
I don't see that.
Okay, right. Back to where we were. Okay,
right.
look. obviously we don't want to give away like a lot that's in the documentary, or maybe you do. I don't know. So basically, Seán and I were sort of coming up with a way that we could talk about this without talking about it. And the sort of, I guess, the umbrella argument that we came after was, have you ever met a rich person who you think isn't a sociopath?
Well, speaking as a sociopath, no, I think that, I mean, look, this whole film is like, there's a lot of me in the room with people who have got a lot of money, and it's almost like, you know, there's a couple of people one person who's from a billionaire family. There's a guy who's a billionaire himself. There's more. Guy who started Venmo is Ikram, isn't it? A lot. He's Venmo is like I know what Venmo is. Do you know what Venmo is?
I think that
it's like a Monzo Revolut kind of thing.
Yeah. It's massive. It's like it's what everyone uses in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And he started that company.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, on Venmo.
Yeah, exactly. He started that company, and me and him, I go on this journey. You've seen the film, but like with him, where, you know, within 5 minutes of meeting him, we're starting a company together, and the moment we decide to start a company, it's worth 10 million already, and like we're going to be selling out Madison Square Garden in a year. And there's almost something about that like self-delusion that like you have to believe that in order for it to become true. So that was like a lesson that I learned in the film, is like that, like almost like you deceive yourself and you project this air of like success is going to come if you follow me, give me your money. In the moment you're able to do that, you can get rich too. And like, I don't know, I think we're living in a moment where like when I actually try and sell t-shirts, it's much less profitable than talking about the idea of selling t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like,
well, all of it seems to be a performance, right? So that I still can't quite wrap my head around the concept of a meme coin. Like, to me, it just just sort of like how it actually functions or how it actually works just sort of completely eludes me. But it is performance, right? Sort of you're sort of like, you're faking that this fictitious product has value in order for it to have value. Yeah, which is essentially also what a lot of the.
But then all of a sudden it does have value if enough of us believe it, because then it actually does. Yeah, it's all like this sort of dance of like bullshit, isn't it? Really.
And that's essentially what you become. Well, you've got to believe you've got to believe that you have value. You do. Yeah, and in order to have value.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what in this film, you know, I had to like learn how, you know, the film is how to make £1 million in 90 days, and the whole thing was sort of like inspired by just get rich quick and that cultural moment, and how much oxygen is sucked up by just people talking about making money. And like, I don't know, I kind of feel I'm a millennial raised by boomers, so like I almost feel like I'm a little bit like romantic about like when I was growing up, I wanted to be in a band and all this stuff. And I like, the thing that I don't understand is with younger people, plus like maybe younger Gen Z plus Gen Alpha, who are maybe some young millennial, I don't know, are kind of like really trapped in this like money making hustle culture, like content fucking whirlpool. I don't
doom
know.
loop.
Doom loop. Yeah, and it's like you've got like the biggest, most revered people seem to be like entrepreneurs now, which definitely was not that way when we were growing up.
Yeah,
and like, you know, Stephen Bartlett has got one of the biggest podcasts on the planet. Like every single one of these other people who do like health podcasts, it's all like they're entrepreneurs. Do you know what I mean? Like I watched the Celebrity Traitors last night, and Tom Daly, it said diver, like gold medal winning Olympian, and then entrepreneur.
No,
I'm
they
like,
didn't.
I'm like, Tom, you're not an entrepreneur.
They actually put that on there. I didn't see that. Really?
Yeah, it said entrepreneur. And I was like,
what does he sell?
I was like, Tom, you don't need to be an entrepreneur. Like, I like some of the greatest sporting moments I've seen was like watching him win the gold. Like, I loved it. You don't need to do that. And I'm not interested in how you're trying to make money. I'm not.
Is there a Tom Daly coin?
Soon come.
Daily
Soon
coin.
come.
Yeah. But so I don't know.
We'd make a splash.
Very good.
That one. Yeah, I was going
Awful,
to continue
sorry.
with that.
Sorry.
But yeah, just like this thing.
Won't dive into that.
Yeah, very, very
what
good.
am I doing?
It feels like if the thing that I I get it, because we're all kind of living in a moment of a big insecurity. People haven't got things that make them feel, so people are thinking more about how they make money, how do they achieve some sort of level of financial comfort. But I don't think that this obsession with that is making us any better off. That's the thing that I can't. If that was true, if that was like, oh, young people are now much better at saving money and they're all buying homes when they, you know what I mean, then I'd be like, all right, fair enough. Their way of this is working and this is a good thing. But I think ultimately the thing is like convincing your audience that you can lead them to a promised land of financial security is the grift.
Did you find yourself starting to believe in the grift as you went on? Like as the stakes started to get higher, and I mean, you're either further away than you've ever been from $1 million, or you're in debt at points, and you're like, okay, I need to get my money up here. And you're surrounded by these American guys that are like, you can do it. We're going to be 10 million. We're going to be like, are you believing in it at that point? Or is it like, nah, there's still a skepticism?
No, I think that when you get involved with them and get wrapped up in their world, I think it's hard to not start believing in the mythos of it. Like, because you have to believe in it for the value to come, as you sort of said earlier. I kind of feel like, that whole belief around, that was a lesson, as I said, like that I learned making the film, was like, if you fail, you just have to claim a win. And like like a win, it's like, oh, like, it was a massive success constantly, no matter what you do, no matter the pit. It's like always just presenting the most like positive version of what's happened.
Well, that is sort of what I mean. I don't know if you don't want to talk about this because you don't want to foreshadow the film. That's fine.
No,
but,
talk about it. It's okay. I want people to watch the film. So.
Well, okay, so you have this guy, this Venmo entrepreneur, this Venmo guy, and he has this foray into a meme coin that at one moment in time is extraordinarily successful, and then he's accused of a rug pull. He's accused of liquidating the meme coin. You know, can you even liquidate a meme coin? I don't know. Like, anyway, and extracting the cash, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. He still sees that in your conversations as a win, right? He's still flipping it as a...
Well, he would, just to put him out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're playing squash and he denies all of that. He says that he didn't rug pull, he didn't take the money out, just to have that clear for him.
Do you know what's really funny as well, though, in that squash scene, that you leave in the bit where you're quite visibly exhausted by the squash. You like bend over, he's still just chatting normally, and you're like, yeah.
He's very good at squash.
It's such a wealthy people activity, isn't it? Going to play squash.
Yeah,
like,
I play at Brixton Rec.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
a great joke.
In America, it's very waspy. Which is white Anglo-Saxon Protestant-y, and very old money viewed like thing. I don't think it is here. I think
everyone's playing paddle here.
Yeah,
aren't they?
It's true. Yeah, paddle's the thing now. There's no paddle in Brixton Rec, is there?
No,
it's just squash.
Oh, they might do it upstairs in the badminton courts, maybe.
Yeah,
paddle's like the one that's like tennis rackets that
thing.
Yeah. I've played that.
Yeah.
No, people are all over that now.
Yeah, I like it.
You could even play it at Soho House.
Do you want to play?
No. Thank you. I don't believe in my own value. I think the one thing I was thinking a lot about when watching this film is sort of the sort of the masterclass in dishonesty. A lot of these entrepreneurs, in quotations, project. And then I was thinking about how that has sort of dripped down into internet culture and manifesting. And I was, I've always sort of poured water on the idea of quote unquote manifesting, because it is obviously like a load of bollocks, but in the context of this film, it actually does have veracity and weight, because the more that you do conceive or believe in your own hype or ability, then the more your value as a commodity increases.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Well, I think that this is like gets to the heart of like a really, one of the things that was interesting me about this making a film about money was where am I? Just that the idea of value is the idea of the value of a company. So say the company that we form in that room together, me and the Ikram, the Venmo, when he's like, I'm your co-founder. I'm like, okay, fine. The idea of what the company might be at some point is always going to be, the value of that is always going to be much higher than if we actually deliver on what the company says it's going to do. And I feel like this is coming back to like that doom loop idea. this private equity, like the West being awash with private equity and venture capital, and if you can convince people and tell a good enough story that you're worthy of their investment, that's basically how most companies run now. From my experience making this film, like that's what I saw was like not having a real company is more valuable than having a real business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like,
See how mental all of this is.
but like, if you can go in and convince a guy, an investment or a hedge fund manager or whatever, that this whole thing you're presenting at some point might be worth a lot of money. They might take a bet on you, and that's the culture. Whereas if you go, I've got 5 shops in whatever. Redditch.
Bricks and mortar.
Shout Redditch.
Redditch.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, well, we can see the actual numbers.
Yeah.
That you can't lie as effectively if it actually is out there and real. I mean, one of the most interesting examples for me in the film is like I buy an article about myself in Forbes that gets published on Forbes Georgia.
Yeah.
It belongs. Like, if you look it up now, it's like calls me a business mastermind.
You're joking. What? But I can't believe that you can actually just buy an article in Forbes.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably. I like have this little devil on my shoulder, my lawyer. They'll say it's Forbes Georgia, but like if you go on the news,
Still Forbes.
You know
No,
that
it is.
Not,
It is,
you're not liable when you're in this studio, right? We're
really?
liable. So
Okay.
yeah.
But I still think that it could be contribute to a case against me. But I paid about £2,000, a little under £2,000, and yeah, now for the rest of my life, I mean, I've outed it, haven't I? Right now, but like you could go on my website and it will say as seen on Forbes Georgia. No, not Georgia. As
Just
seen
Forbes.
on Forbes.
Yeah.
And it says loads of absolute horseshit that the headline I wrote. It's if you can. So basically, the more effectively you can build out a lie, the more likely you are to get the attraction and the investment of these people whose job it is to speculate with their
Oh, it's not this one. It's not how one entrepreneur turned viral success into a global empire.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, this isn't the real one. I would believe that.
No, that's it.
Oh, right.
That's the fake one.
No, that's the no, but I'm saying I thought someone actually had written this.
Yeah, no, that was me. I paid for that.
Yeah, I didn't think this was the paid one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I thought that actually someone.
You're like, oh, this is.
I was like, that's lovely, isn't it? Like,
What a lovely thing to write about Oobah.
Yeah.
I was really what you were saying there about kind of like
oh my
everyone
God,
is
sorry.
vouching for one another.
1 second, can
What?
we just stick on this? It's just like with the launch of his fashion brand, Ethical Sweatshop. It's just,
Yeah.
they're just writing this with their full chests, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like,
The branding of that is fantastic as
Yeah,
well.
it's
like
good, isn't it?
having children doing marketing for you is probably something that any company should do in the future.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of that was trying to get kids trying to create a legal sweatshop in Britain and have the kids come up with a cigarette brand that we put on the shirt and everything like that.
has anyone actually? That's very funny, that scene, by the way. Has anyone actually bought this masterclass? So
in the 24 hours since after it came out, we sold 1.
Right.
That was another thing that was quite fun because no one knows that. So like I could, on the outside, it looked successful because the trailer that we made for it, where I trick an art collector into buying a stick out of my brother's garden for 500 quid, which is real. We did that. That went out. 2 million people watched that trailer. And I was like, well, I think we've done this. 0.5% watched that and I'm a millionaire. And 1 person bought it. And I was like, there's a lot of people out there. There are a lot of ways. One of the get rich quick schemes that people do is these like educational classes. And, and as I said earlier, if you can convince people that you can lead them to the promised land of financial security, which is like my masterclass was called $1 Million Ideas. And it was, meta. Because I was like, I'm in the process of trying to make $1 million and projecting that I'm the guy who can help you make $1 million. That's what we're thinking. But it was like, sincere 3-hour masterclass from trying to help people.
Wow.
We wrote and like, we sold. 2 million people watched the trailer. We sold 1, and like, there's people like Luke Belmar or Ty Lopez and who all talk about, you should buy my course 1, but 2, you should make your own course. And then there's courses teaching people how to make their own courses. So it's like, it was interesting. It's humiliating for me for it to have fallen so flat on its face. But also as a public service, it's quite good, I think. I think it's good that people understand the difference between what it looks like, which Stan built my collaborator Stan, built an amazing website for that. Dan, director, edited it. We had real students in the studio that I filmed with, and it was a massive failure, and that's quite good, I think, to put that out and be like, well, because I up until that point thought it would make a load of money.
Mm-hmm.
Calling freelancers, small and mid-sized business owners. Tide's Instant Saver account offers up to 4% AER variable, flexible access, and competitive returns.
Unlike other options on the market, you won't need to hold your money with Tide for a fixed period. That means you'll have instant access and free withdrawals whenever you need it.
You can get started today with just £1, making it easy to start growing your business savings.
Want to know what you'll earn? Tide's Clever Calculator gives you a clear picture up front.
Our audience will receive £100 cash back when you deposit £5,000 within the first 30 days of opening your Tide Instant Saver account.
Use code JOE, that's JOE, JOE. New members receive an annual equivalent rate of up to 4% AER variable, free for 6 months. For the full offer, visit tide.co/Joe. T's and C's apply.
I wonder
Yeah.
if people will buy it. Like, have you checked on it since then? Has anyone bought it, or is it not live anymore?
I put the price of it up to $1 million per class.
Did you actually?
Yeah,
What did you do that for?
because I don't know. I mean, there's in the film I just see it quite a lot. I have a discomfort about rinsing my audience anyway, and I really didn't.
You're gonna rinse one person for
Yeah,
a lot of money
I know.
if
Yeah.
they do buy it.
Well, then they deserve it. Maybe we can go to dinner, but they
Oh, okay.
no, but like I don't know.
Okay.
I feel more comfortable with that than look. It's actually not. I thought we did a good job with it, but no, I think it's more fun for people not to be able to see it than to be able to see it.
There is the sort of your take on all of this. That this entire system that is built on sand is it's the morality that gets you in the end, right? And it's sort
Yeah.
of like, can you be a moral, extraordinarily wealthy person? I think that's the sort of. I know that we've asked that. It's been asked for since the Bible, but particularly in this in this documentary, I couldn't get my head around sort of. It almost felt like penny stocks. You're sort of bringing. You're ringing people up to ask them to put their hard-earned cash into a project that's ultimately going to make you a lot of money.
Yeah.
And likely not have a huge return for that person who put their life savings in.
Yeah.
It's quite sad.
Yeah, I mean, when we started out doing this, we had a thing before we started the 90-day period, and people kept on suggesting we do crypto and we do a meme coin. I was like, I don't want to make a film about that really, because I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Because it already sucks up way too much oxygen anyway, and I was like, I don't want to go there. But when we started making the film, we were just made to make a film about it, because it was where the most maybe grotesque get rich quick schemes were taking place. And when we started to make the film, pretty sure it was like when Biden was at the end of his term. A lot of it's shot in the US, probably about 2/3 of it. And then obviously there was a movement there that crypto would be regulated as a security, which would mean it would be regulated like stocks. And it was that was changing. Now that is completely not the case.
Yeah.
It's completely not the case. There is no regulation really. Crypto is regulated now as something really bizarre. I can't remember. It's a really small department. There's like one guy at a desk, and yeah.
Stop doing that. Wait, hold on. It's a really busy guy.
Yeah, exactly. But now it truly is a wild west, and it was unignorable. Like you said that about ethics and making money. Like one of the things that I experienced making this was. Yeah, the question at the start was like, if I was to suspend any ethical boundaries I had, any red lines, like could I become rich? And continually, I would come up against things which would be, at this point, if you are willing to, not have an issue with that, with the crypto thing, because, we talked about it, but my mum and dad lost money in a pyramid scheme when we were kids. I have a discomfort around that because it reminds me of that. I've got a lot of friends who are into crypto. It's fine. It's just something that I don't really want to do.
Do you really have a lot of friends into crypto?
I got enough to think about,
See, I did an English literature degree, so I don't have friends in crypto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't go to university, so I've got lots of friends in crypto.
Oh.
No, look, I think it's like it comes as a Do I have a lot of friends?
Do you have to be thick to be in crypto?
I'm not. No comment. No, I mean, I think you've got to I think as we learn in the film, you've got to be you got to be, you could be lots of things. You got to be opportunistic. You got to be desperate.
Yeah.
You got to be, it's like a lot of people.
No. The desperate thing's really interesting because I think that's like the whole culture. It does feel desperate.
Yeah.
It does feel like if you are buying a masterclass on how to get rich quick online,
Yeah.
it does feel desperate. And I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I
Yeah.
mean it in well, actually, it is going to sound condescending. Yeah, I'm being condescending. It
Right.
just, it makes me sad that someone at home would pay, with all due respect, £100 to
Yeah.
watch your masterclass on how to get rich quick.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not, all that when we're making these projects, all that I'm trying to do is monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not what I see in the
Oh, but
real
that's
world,
it.
not-
It's like
yeah.
there's an affect around that world, whether it's the cryptos, whether it's the master classes, whether it's any of these things, even like surrounding yourself with millionaires or people who claim to be successful people. It's all feeding into the same ecosystem with the intention of like displaying that to anybody that's either vulnerable or desperate.
Well, it's this thing constantly around, if does projected value eventually become real money?
Yeah.
And it does. That's the thing that I think I learned in this was the more I projected the air of success, the more doors that opened for me. Like obviously without saying the end of the film, but we get towards this situation where Ikram comes up from a conversation between the both of us for me to auction off 10% of my earnings for the rest of my life. And we have this kind of whole, you guys have watched the film, but like this whole auction around that. And I end up getting real offers for quite significant sums of money, people speculating on just me. And that's based kind of on a house of sand, because it's based on me selling my masterclass as a success, me selling all this different stuff as successes. But I'm, without ruining the end of the film, I'm able to then use that legitimately to go into big legitimate financial institutions and turn that into access to huge amounts of money at like, terms which you could never get anywhere near. Well, I couldn't at the start of the film. I try and get a loan at the start of the film and I can't. But at the end, I didn't realize how much the super wealthy live on lines of credit, and if I kind of say at the end of the film, something Stan and I wrote at the very end was, if I'd have made that million and I'd have taken it through selling shirts, I'd have paid 450 grand in tax on it. If I'd have done it in the way that I at the end could have done it, I'd have paid zero, because it's all it's all like a line of credit that's taken from a bank. So it's, the lie is all fun and cute up until the very end, when it's real financial institutions investing massive amounts of money into it. And this is, you could buy social media platforms, you could buy private islands, you can buy, there was a really recent article about Larry Ellison and how he lives on lines of credit, and it's not unusual. Most people on that Forbes top 500 list do. And if you say to most people off the street a loan, they'll think about a mortgage, they'll think about Wonga, they'll think about, okay, interesting. This is not like, I feel this. I don't have any loans like that. I don't have a student loan. That's one that most people have. It's the way that the super wealthy think about loans, the way they think about credit is completely different to the way we think about it. And I don't. Yeah, it's hard to say without ruining the end of the film. But like, yeah,
It doesn't even make sense to me, does it? But it does seem like the long and the short of it is that for the select few, there's no point in, it's sort of the end of a hard day's work. Do you know what I mean? It's like what am I, the phrase I'm looking for? It's sort of like, I guess like bricks and mortar institutions is a ginormous waste of your time.
Yeah.
Going to,
well, if it is all just about money,
yeah.
because that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, I felt really burnt out and awful at the end of this period, and by the end of it, I had more money than I'd ever had, but I felt really bereft and shit, and in order to get that, I had to cross an ethical red line for myself in order to get that. But like if that's the way you want to live your life, if that's the way you want to live, then yeah. But even just stuff like, if you just think about something like the AI thing, like it is, to me, I just identify a lot of, I know it's different because it is novel technology, but like a lot of it is just a bigger fucking lie to tell to another set of people to invest even more money. The way that the private equity it's completely unprofitable, but it's going to take, like, because of the amount of money that's getting spent on it will take over. And I don't know, I'm now more sensitive, I think, to just like these massive, gigantic lies that are told in order to attract investment from hedge funds, private equity. Yeah.
Is it depressing during the period then to reach a point where you discover that ultra wealth or making it is so inaccessible to people that, like, you either sacrifice all of your morals and ethics and beliefs, or
You make Ben and Jerry's.
like you have to get really lucky,
Yeah, you do.
or be really abhorrent.
Oh, he's having a terrible time at the moment, Ben.
He is,
isn't he? Yeah, yeah.
Well, Jerry left, didn't he?
Well, yeah. Well, Ben's trying to leave, isn't he, as well?
Yeah.
They're both trying to get out now.
Yeah. Ben's trying to make independent ice cream, but he can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's trying to. Yeah, we just did an interview with him.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. He wants to talk about Palestine and sell his ice cream independently.
But I thought that was Jerry.
Ben is so Jerry left.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Ben's
Ben
trying
is
to get it
still
out
in
of Magnum.
Oh, interesting.
because I think it's Magnum is the company
It's
that.
Unilever, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Unilever's the bigger one, and then Magnum is the smaller, bigger one that then owns Ben and Jerry's. But there's some stipulation in their contract that there can be no political associations or beliefs within that company.
Non-political ice cream.
Non-political ice cream.
Yeah.
I've always liked my ice cream political. I don't know why this is all changing now.
Yeah.
The white Magnum is very New Labour, isn't it?
White Magnum is New Labour.
I think so, yeah.
Hang on. What do you mean?
Just feels very New Labour.
The white Magnum?
Things are going to get better.
Really? That's so interesting. But that's predicated on. Okay, do you like a white Magnum?
I do.
Okay, so you liked New Labour.
Well, it just felt good. Obviously,
Yeah.
now we know. You know, you don't
got
think
this
about
little
rap
clear
or
up.
Yeah.
white Magnum.
Just bring me back to a chocolate Magnum.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Think
when we
about-
had council
Think
houses
about
and
you know,
jobs.
the charming man.
Uh,
Thatcher's over. We got white Magnums. It's
Have
all
you seen
good.
what they're doing with Magnums now? Oh, they're like Icarus flying way too close to the sun.
There was a
What have they
pink
done? All the
lemonade
different
one.
Flavors.
Pink lemonade, honestly.
yeah,
That's
that's a bit MAGA,
Yeah.
maybe.
You can go down Covent Garden. I don't know if it's still there, but you can get a Magnum and they will drip lots of different toppings all over them.
well, that sounds good.
Do you think? I think it was overly luxurious.
Little New Labour.
Now we're getting to the real stuff.
Yeah. Thank you very much. No, sorry.
I just want to actually pick up on one like sort of last note that I wrote here because I don't know why we wrote this. We wrote down OnlyFans model. Why did we write that?
I think it was something to do with the selling 10% of your body
Yeah.
for $1 million or 10% of your future earnings. I thought there's something quite grim about that in general, that like you're a young man, you're predicting that you're going to earn. It's not even, I suppose,
People making
that
bets, right?
Yeah, they're betting that you're going to earn more than 10 million in your life, essentially. And as well as OnlyFans, there was also a thought of like, that is effectively what everyone does anyway. You sell 8 hours of your life every single day for what your boss has decided you are worth. You're doing it in a grander scale, but ultimately there's a flesh and bone aspect to it, you know, because it's like, well, it's the equivalent of my arm.
Yeah, pound of flesh. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think, well, I don't know, was the OnlyFans part of it fully baked? I guess it was like,
I've got no idea. Oh,
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
it
we
did
can
remind.
talk about the 10% thing though.
yeah.
It was, you know, as I said, it was something that came out of that discussion with Ikram. And
Did
at
you
that
feel
point-
comfortable going into that?
No,
Like,
at that point I was like, oh shit, I definitely wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for this film. You know, because we did sign a contract with Channel 4 guaranteeing that I'd be able to do this.
Really? That's mental.
It is absolutely fucking insane. And I signed it as quick as I could because I thought, well, they're going to definitely have second thoughts about this.
Jesus.
But like, you know, I did think that, you know, there's a moment in that we have this auction in the East Village in this penthouse, and then you have all these different private equity people who are bidding on me. yeah, there is this thing where they're all openly discussing about life insurance policies on me. That
They spend more time talking about you dying than you being alive and successful.
yeah, it was quite interesting. It was, and apparently it would have been very easy. Yeah, we'll just whack a policy on him, 10 million, it's fine. It is fascinating, that whole environment, and to be there, without going too much into what happens at it, you know, it's quite humiliating and devaluing, yeah, for sure. But
You're just a commodity.
yeah, but we had such a little amount of time. And look, I think the thing that I noticed from all the different money men and people that I meet in the film is that after that auction doesn't go how I want it to, and it's quite humiliating. And Ikram, who says, this is just the beginning, you know, you can be the next Mr. Beast, you can be the next Gwyneth Paltrow, and he's relentless in a way that I'm not. And I realize at that point how different kind of we are. And
You can be the next Mr. Beast.
yeah, at the point where you've just been kind of humiliated in a room filled with
Yeah.
people.
Do you know what's also interesting about the Mr. Beast complex is that to me is a reference that you would say to like a sort of 15, 16-year-old boy, and it would be really exciting. And then, like, anyone over the age
Not
of
a
like
34-year-old man.
do you know what I mean?
Nondescript age.
Yeah.
I'd rather be Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just think I was just desperate, and yeah, it was a decision I wouldn't have made if I'd not been up against it. And you know, my whole thing is predicated around making this really difficult stuff happen. And I realized that it could have been quite humiliating, the whole thing. And I don't think we'd have had a film if wouldn't have done it, you know. You know, so yeah, I just think when you're in a desperate position, and it's funny because I invited the whole thing onto myself, so it's not like I'm like, you know, I've got kids and I'm not having to work 5 jobs to pay for my whole life or whatever. I did it to make a film, so ultimately I can't really say someone who's pushed into a position where they, you know, forced to do a job that they don't want to do, and putting their body on the line for that. I can't really say that was
Well, you
what
sort
I
of nearly did,
experienced.
didn't you? If you signed a contract and you said, I've got to find £1 million somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You did nearly get quite close.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, to me, yeah. I mean, as I said earlier, like there's a lot of opportunities in that film where, you know, if I'd have invested in Ikram's coin at that point where he asked me to, he said we couldn't fact check it, so we didn't put it in the film. But he said if I'd have put in 400, I'd have made $1 million at the time he asked me.
That's like the closest as well that it seems. At that point, you're kind of on the cusp of desperation, where it's
Yeah.
like, I would have done that.
Yeah, definitely.
I should have done that at the time.
And then that's
you know?
I think what made me more comfortable with, you know, obviously I signed the contract to make Uber coin and
Yeah.
to do that. And
How would you have felt if there was an Uber coin? Say it had been extraordinarily successful.
awful, yeah. I think I'm so glad I didn't do that. Yeah, I think it would have been awful. Yeah, that was obviously the big term of why I ended up giving the money back to Kavita, was just because I didn't want to be involved with that. And you know, we did shoot a thing. I went and told her, and I said, "Look, I really don't want to do this." And she sort of took umbrage a little bit with my equivalency of it to a pyramid scheme, and I think that's fair enough. But it's just something that me personally, I just didn't want to do that. I don't know. I'm glad now that I didn't do it. I think I would rather have my freedom than that, and my ability to make my own decisions than
And your morality.
yeah, then, you know, won't go that far. But yeah, then to have $1 million, I don't know. I think that the big thing about the film that we haven't really touched on, which is absolutely fine, is just, it taught me just the big differences between living in New York, living in London, living in the UK, living in the US, now kind of being between the two, and how differently we view money, and how, you know, like old money here, most institutions in the country are ran by people who went to a small group of schools who probably all know each other, executive positions, whatever they are, the public and private sector. In America, it's much more, old money is like a fringe niche thing, you know, that they all kind of feels a bit like, oh, cute, you know, they're kind of like a Mayflower stemming family who did whatever.
Oh, what,
It's like a
quaint.
200-year history.
They don't hold the keys to everything in the way
Right.
that it does here. You know, the House of Lords and the House of Commons are, generally speaking, still the upper classes, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, of course, yeah.
I mean, they're
Disproportionately
designed-
represented by an insane amount, you know,
Yeah.
and executive positions in the country.
But
So
usually cash poor.
yeah, but I think
Britain, yeah.
when you're talking about like the aristocracy, I'm not just thinking about like them in their big dusty manors in the home counties or whatever. Like I'm thinking about
It's an expectation to belong in that powerful class. Like, I mean, the whole
Yeah.
thing of like, is
That's
it the
David
Commons or the
Cameron's
Lords or
family.
both of them are designed entirely off of the interior of Eton College.
You're joking.
So it's
that right?
to suit people from one place to another
That's mad.
that you belong in both of these places, and we have catered to you and your kind.
That's
you know.
mad, isn't
Well, I don't know. There's also knife archers as soon as you go into Parliament. You have to go through the airport security. So, you know, it also is very welcoming for the.
Feels like Luton.
Yeah.
Luton Airport.
Yeah.
The ITV class.
London Luton.
I was just
feels like
at
feels bad.
Luton. I was very impressed actually with the airport. I don't know why everyone shits on it. I think it's a fucking great airport.
It reminds me a lot of Malpensa Terminal 2. It looks exactly like it. Very low, very long.
Okay, well, I think we've exhausted this. That
Sorry, the point I wanted to finish was just like nouveau riche there isn't as they don't look down on it in the same way. It's a nouveau riche country. So me going up to billionaires and saying, please can I have $1 million wasn't unusual in any way.
right.
So like the whole set of expectations around money, the way they behave around, there's not the reverence around money. It is everything. That's all that it is.
Is it more
Yeah.
applaudable that you would just go and ask for money?
It's just normal.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, so that there's such a big cultural difference, and that sort of is difficult. I mean, you see these people, you're a fly on the wall for these chats with these people who, you know, who I was ended up having all this kind of these interactions with. I don't think we would have made this film just in the UK. It would have been a completely different film. But yeah,
Is that a learning of it as well? Is that like in those circles, there's such a belief in their sauce that your sauce is mixed in with that. Like
Yeah.
you will be one of those people.
yeah, you have
Because
to delude
if they don't believe that everyone can do what they do, the whole house of cards falls down.
well, it's quite addictive, isn't it? The
Yeah.
feeling that anything can happen and anything's possible, even if it's a bit of a lie.
That's ominous. Well, thank you for coming in, Uber.
Thank you very much.
When's
for
it on
having me.
Channel 4?
Tonight
Tonight.
at 10 p.m. Is this going out?
This
today?
is
Yeah,
going
it's
out
going out
today.
today.
In. Yes, please watch tonight so I can fucking try and make 2 million next year.
Oh.
No, I don't know.
We really enjoyed it. We watched it at the desk yesterday.
You
It was-
did?
yeah. Our CEO was very much like watching us watch your film and was like, "Oh, you just having a bit of time off, are you?" We're like, "Actually, this is for work."
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of it. It was a brutal film to make, to be honest. But yeah, I hope people enjoy it. It's on
Very
10 p.m.
enjoyable.
It's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks to Tide and their instant savings account for sponsoring this week's podcast.
New members receive an annual equivalent rate of up to 4% AER variable.
Our audience will receive £100 cash back when you deposit £5,000 within the first 30 days of opening your Tide Instant Saver account.
Use code JOE. For the full offer, visit tide.co/Joe. T's and C's apply.